Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
It was time for the library to close. I had to leave. You need to leave. I bought some food on my way home. Shion, if you spend all your money getting takeout, then you're going to run out of money. It's cheaper to make your own food. I shut the door and locked it right away. Fish welcome mat welcomes you to Shion's apartment. So does Teddy Bear and Bunny Trash Can. Then I heard the door of the neighboring apartment open. Kasai lived next door. Nobody else lived on this floor of the nearly empty apartment building anyway. I clearly heard the door open and close. Kasai must have noticed that I came home and was coming over because he wanted to talk to me. I unlocked the door and shouted out to him.
Kasai なの? 鍵は開いてますよ. Kasai さんじゃないよ.
Uh-oh.
Shion.
That voice. I twitched.
入るよ.
No.
どうぞ. おね.
The door slowly opened. I probably wouldn't have been so eager to let her into the apartment after what she did at the torture room. My alter ego, Mion Sonozaki, appeared. She was holding a box of cake, while smiling timidly. You think this makes up for it?
どうぞ上がってって言うまで玄関に突っ立ってるつもりですか? どうぞ上がって。全然可愛くない部屋で申し訳ないけどね。落ち着いた雰囲気のとこだね。
Oh yeah! Okay. So I gotta ask people. Mion Sprite, do you prefer console version? Remake? Or OG? Now, I gotta say, I love that she has a gun in the OG art style. That is pretty boss. Having said that, my personal favorite, I think, for Mion. Okay, in this particular case, the console looks pretty good, but I always like the remake for Mion. But doggone it, why can't we have, like... Why can't she have a holstered gun here? Why does she only get the gun in the OG art style? Why? The gun is way too cool. Also, definitely adds a level of danger. Shirley, okay, Ruben prefers console, Shirley prefers remake. Honestly, we've had remake art style for her for a while. Let's try console for a bit. Sis looked a bit tense when entering my room. It was her first time here.
生活はどう? 新しい学校はやっぱりつまらないです。一応通ってはいますけど、気分が乗らないときはサボらせてもらってます。
Shion's a latchkey kid.
全寮制だとなかなかそうはいかないですからね。
Censorship? Okay. I'm trying to wrap my head around the reasoning for this one. We had in chapter 3 Satoko borderline naked in like the towel scenes, which was deeply uncomfortable. We also had Rika's body completely disemboweled, only slightly being censored by like crows eating her innards. But no, a gun? No, we can't show that. That's way too much. I mean, if we show guns, that would be like Looney Tunes. We can't be like Looney Tunes.
センルチはやっぱり辛かったが。チェ、お姉も一度閉じ込められてみろってんです。
That won't be awkward. If she goes, it's like, Shion! There you are! Tackles her. You spread rumors that you were sleeping with the male teachers?
ごめん。ケーキ買ってきたからさ、食べよ。
Yeah, censorship works weirdly. Japan can't have guns, but kids naked, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, Japan, I know, definitely doesn't frown on nudity as much as the United States. United States definitely is one of the most strict places when it comes to nudity. I know, like, here it's generally seen as a sexual thing, whereas in Japan it's more often seen as like it's like a purity thing, or like a innocence kind of thing. Or just they don't mind it as much. But even then, just showing a gun? Yeah, and the Angel Mort uniform. We have characters working at Hooters, which is very revealing. But no, can't show a holstered gun. It's just, yeah, cultural differences. There's I thought that said cheesecakes. We have the same taste in food, so we don't have to fight if we get two of the same thing. I chatted with her over the cheesecake. I talked to her about school and whatnot. Why are you so chill with her after she was like, hey, tear out your fingernails?
必要な家具とかがあったら言ってね。 融通できるかもしれないから。この部屋にもようやく馴染んできたとこだけど、近いうちに引き払うかもしれないから、家具はノーサンキューです。
Super Brain, first live.
うちのお父さんが沖宮に住むつもりなら戻ってこいってうるさいんです
Is
よ。
that a good thing or a bad thing?
お父さんに会いたくないんだけど、かといって
You
逆らう
can't
のも
say
怖
no
いし
to
ね。
literal Yakuza dad.
お父さんもシオンがいなくなって寂しそうだったから、なんだかんだ言っても帰ってきたら喜ぶと思うよ。
Yakuza's a lonely life.
チェー、人事だと思って。
I mean, shit, Mion has to live with Demon Granny, so... Come to think of it, this was the first time I talked to Sis since I was allowed to live as Shino and Sonozaki. Fast and the Furious, it's all about family, Higurashi. Yeah, no. Look, sometimes your family is terrible, and sometimes you luck out with, like, Keiichi. She didn't look like how she was at the Sonozaki house that day. The successor of the Sonozaki family and the twin sister are two different people. And my twin sister are two different people. The demon lives inside the leader of the Sonozakis. Our bodies are exactly the same, except for the tattoo of a demon on her back. Mion's destiny as the successor was set in stone when she got that tattoo. It's pretty simple. The Mion from that night was different from the Mion before me. When I was forced to tear off my fingernails, I had momentarily despised her. But if I were the next leader of the family, I'd have done the same thing. You would have?
シオン、
She's sad.
爪は治った？もうすっかり傷口は塞がったからね。最近は目立つのがかえって嫌なんで、包帯みたいなのもしてないです。
You are very nonchalant about that.
でもまだだいぶいびつでね、あまり人には見せられないかな。
I sneered at her, displaying my incomplete fingernails. Mion grew quiet and looked down.
謝らなくていいよ。ミオンだってあそこは仕方なかったんだか
But
ら
here's
さ。
the thing, if nobody stands up to the evil granny or like, this is how things are done, it'll never change. And you're just gonna keep perpetuating this terrible cycle.
次期当主の役割を演じただけ。恨んじゃいないから。ごめんね。オッケー。その謝罪で私は全部チャラにした。でも、もう一度謝ったらそれは取り消し。一生許さないよ。
Okay, wow.
何それ。お姉は一度謝りモードに入るとなかなか抜けられない悪い癖がありますからね。私の方で区切らないとキリがないんです。本当に許してくれるの？サトシとのことも。
My heart ached when she mentioned his name. It just felt like the ache of an old wound.
シオンがサトシのことを好きなのはもちろんあれだけ大勢の前で熱愛宣言しちゃいましたからね。
Shion feels like the rebellious family member who'd say no, so I think right now she's just coping with what happened to her. Maybe. You'd love for Keiichi to scream at Granny. I bet that'll happen at some point.
なんだか今さら恥ずかしくもなんともないや。でもバッチャはあれで本当にけじめがついたと思ってるんだよ。
Really?
シオンがちゃんと自分でけじめをつけてみせたから、それで全部終わりって。そうでなきゃ困ります。あれだけ痛い思いしたんですから。サトシ、どこに行ったんだろうね。
As if you don't know. I started choking when I heard her say that. Oh no, she went photo negative. That's never a good sign. Oh my gosh. Shion was so shocked. Mion looks completely different now. What? How did that happen? I just said it to her myself. I said that I'd forgiven her completely. But that promise instantly evaporated. Just because of what she said, I felt like I turned into a completely different person. Wow. What did you say, Mion? Did you say I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to? Who else could know other than you and your folks? What did you say? Where did he go? I felt my eyeballs reddening in anger. It felt as though they were about to pop. I choked on a burning sensation in my throat. Did you stick a needle in my cake just like you did to Keiichi in Chapter 1? Or maybe Shion did in Chapter 1? Mion's expression rapidly changed. It looked like she'd noticed the devil's mask on my face. We were one and the same. We could understand each other's thoughts without voicing them. So showing our expressions was like unveiling everything in our hearts to the other. The glass shattered. Oh, yeah. Last time we went photogenic, Keiichi went crazy and decided to kill the uncle. Yeah, it only took him 1,500 seconds to do that. Even though I told her not to apologize anymore, Mion apologized. I felt like strangling her. Get it under control, Shion! Dear God! You knew this guy for like a week. And you're like, I will kill my sister because she insulted him. I was going to make her confess where she'd hid Satoshi-kun. If she told me she threw him into the Onigafuchi swamp, I'd strangle her to death right then and there.
Satoshi のことは本当に知らないの。
That's a lie.
本当。バッチャだって何も知らない。
Really?
本当なの。嘘だ嘘だ嘘だ。じゃあ本当にお社様のたたりで鬼隠しにあったとでも言うつもりなのか。たたりなんてあるもんか。たたりなんてあるもんか。
Words kept coming out of my mouth, like I was chanting a spell. I wasn't speaking by my own will anymore. It was the demon who was controlling me. The demon that had been sleeping deep inside me woke up and was speaking through my mouth. The demon's hands grabbed Mion by the neck.
お前たちがサトシ君を鬼隠しにしたんだ。お前たちその先本家がお前たちが返して私のサトシ君を返して。
Alright, we broke.
返して。
My hand slowly but surely squeezed Mion's neck. Wow, we're just doing this. Mion put her hands onto mine. I looked at her fingers. 3 of the fingernails on her left hand looked as ugly as mine. Oh, Shirley, you called it!
ミオ、これはどうしたの?
Tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't have to answer. She had the same scars as I did. She atoned as well. The way those wounds were healing looked the same as mine. So, did she get those wounds around the same time I did?
シオンだけが爪を剥がされるなんてかわいそすぎるんだもん。
But, okay, if she was willing to do that, though, why would you not just stand up to Grandma and be like, no, Grandma, you're being stupid. Like, we're not doing this. Mion started sobbing. I stood there petrified while still wringing Mion's neck.
シオンがね、サトシのことを好きだって分かって、私シオンとサトシに幸せになってほしかったんだよ。だってシオンばっかりいつもかわいそうで、私たちは同じ双子なのに、なんでシオンばっかりいつも差別され。
It didn't come as a surprise to me that Mion might have also loved Satoshi-kun as I did. We've always liked the same stuff and even the same people. She was stupid enough to feel obligated towards someone like me.
私ね、バッチャにね、怒鳴って言ったんだよ。シオンとサトシをそっとしてあげてほしいって。そしたらけじめをつけたら見逃そうという話になって。だからね。
Ooh, really?
ちゃんとシオンが頑張ったから。なのにサトシいなくなっちゃった。
Uh-oh.
こんなのひどいよね。
And then the same thing kind of happens with Keiichi. I don't know what to think about Mion, because she has her sweet moments, but she also is a bit of a tool at times. Mion isn't smart enough to shed crocodile tears, so you know. Those tears were real. Her tears dissolved my demon's anger like how the sun melts ice. Anti-W Snowball.
信じて、シオン。本当にサトシがどうしていなくなってしまったのかわからないの。
Oh, I thought she might have had her eyes closed and be crying in the others. But no. She just looks mildly disappointed here, but her voice actress is sobbing.
園崎家とかバッチャとか、本当にそういうのは何も関わってないの。
How much you wanna bet?
バッチャはシオンのけじめで全てを許した。
Did she?
だからサトシに何かするなんて絶対にないの。
Grandma's like, if you want my forgiveness, you gotta tear your fingernails out, kid. Jeez Louise.
ごめん。苦しかった。
Well, you kind of strangled her. I took my hands off her neck and held her instead.
苦しくなんか。
That might be hard to explain the finger marks around your neck the next day.
シオンはもっともっと苦しかったんだよね。
I feel like we should have had a CG there of the two of them hugging each other while crying. I shouted at the demon in my mind. I believed in Mion. I had been convinced that it was the Sonozaki family that made Satoshi-kun disappear, but Mion denied it while shedding tears. Between her and me, her tears are more convincing than any words. So I'd believe in her. It absolutely wasn't the Sonozaki family that made him disappear. Then who was it? So, do you really think Satoshi-kun disappeared because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? I don't believe in curses. And Mion didn't do it. If it wasn't the curse or the Sonozaki family, who demoned him away? I don't know! I just know it's not Mion. It's not the Sonozaki family because Mion says so. That stupid Shion. Are you going to ignore Satoshi-kun's voice? I know! You don't have to remind me, demon! I can hear his voice. I know he's mumbling with an ambivalent expression like he's always used to do, even though he knows help won't come. I'll help him no matter what. I'll save him if he's alive. I'll avenge him if he's dead. But Mion didn't do it. You just want to take it out on somebody. It doesn't matter who. But I'm Shion, not a demon. You're only a part of me. Don't try to take control. Fuck off! Don't ever show up again. Well, that was an interesting conversation. You now believe Chapter 2 was Shion? I've been theorizing that since Chapter 2. Shion absolutely went crazy. And I definitely believe that she, like, pretended to be Mion. I just don't know why then, if that's the case, Mion was, like, answering to Shion. That's the weird part, unless she, like, forced her into it, but it seems a little weird. Mion, why are you arguing with yourself, sis? Yeah, so the demon faded away. Does that mean that she actually has a demon possessing her right now, and she's, like, aware of it, but it's just like, no? Or is this just basically her calling her, like, inner conscience a demon or something? It's interesting. My body went limp, and I fell to the floor while holding Mion.
Shion, 大丈夫?
No, Shion is not alright.
もう大丈夫だよ、ミオン。私たちはどうしてミオンとシオンなんだろうね。どうして
What are you
同じ一人
saying?
であってはい
Are
け
you
ないんだ
saying
ろう
why
ね。
weren't we just born as one person and not twins? This is weird.
やめなよ。私たちはもう何度もそれを自問してきたよ。でも答えなんか出ない。現実に私とあなたはミオンとシオン。それが現実。私ね、自分がミオンでもシオンでもどっちでも私たちは私たち。公平な関係でいたいのに。
But Mion's sprite does not have torn nails. Plot hole!
仕方がないよ。ミオンの背中には鬼が宿ってる。闘志を継ぐ定めが宿ってる。
You think it's just an inner demon and not an actual demon? Most likely. But I'm keeping that in the back of my head.
それは仕方がない。私、嫌だ。鬼なんかいらない。鬼なんかいらない。私は鬼じゃない。鬼じゃない。同じ人間なのがいい。
Mion is a demon and Shion is a human. Even though we're twins, there's a difference between us. Was it impossible for humans to live with demons after all? It should be possible, because they did it before. That's the legend of Hinamizawa. Humans and demons lived in harmony together, as Oyashiro-sama watched over them. Mion, Shion, Satoshi-kun, demons, humans. Oyashiro-sama's curse, the series of mysterious deaths. Satoshi-kun's disappearance. We fell asleep while holding each other. Just like Sayori said, there's a demon within us all or something like that. Sometimes there's a little demon in all of us. Maybe. While holding everything. Oh my gosh, it's an hour and 15 minutes into the stream, but we finally get our first to be continued. Do we at least get tips? Yeah! Whoa, 3 of them! Okay, let's go. That was just a chapter that didn't have to be continued in the middle of it. Payment. Reconciled with a close relative. Wow. And the achievement was a hand being held up with some bloodied fingernails. Ain't that a coinky-dink. Notebook page 50. I saw Mio Takano a few times after that. Oh. Let the animation finish before changing your art style, you know? Let's have cute Takano for this one. At her core, she was fascinated with the bizarre, and she had an insatiable curiosity that was just as strong. I have to remind myself not to take her story too seriously. Why? I'm so cute. Otherwise, I might start believing that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of the curse. She talks about the dark history of Hinamizawa a lot. It's all very interesting. Her theories are based on nothing but conjecture, but some of her intuition covers facts that only members of the Sonozaki family would know. She thinks that Oyashiro-sama's curse is the continuation of these ancient rituals. In other words, she believes that the curse is performed by religious fanatics. According to her theory, a religious cult once existed in Hinamizawa, and the three families stemmed from it. She believes that they are operating behind the scenes in order to revive the dignity of the Onigafuchi people, which was lost during the Meiji era. Mio-san's theories are far-reaching, and looking at them on a larger scale, they end up making a lot of sense. But they can't offer any explanation for Satoshi-kun's disappearance when using them on a smaller scale. Her theories are just too broad. You like her black blouse in that sprite. She does look nice in the OG art style. There's a couple characters that I think look kind of nice in the OG art style. Takano is one, Rena's another, although Rena having the weird, like, ooh, he's so good finger motions is kind of weird. But, like, I actually like the rest of her. And I think there was one other, was it? Oh, Rika, but specifically just Rika when she's in her school uniform. I exchange information with Uisi every now and then. We'd expect new leads from each other, but neither of us had any luck. Do not let Takano learn about the Aztecs or the Mayans. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is her all-time favorite movie. I no longer believe the tip that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo. It was clearly bogus anyways. Although I can't befriend Uisi, he's been fair about the deal. He alone has been serious about uncovering any new information. Uisi's sources are quite reliable, so whenever I found some dubious tip, I'd check with him to see if it was valid. My meetings with him have diminished in frequency since he's been assigned to new cases. Yeah, that makes sense. Eventually, we stopped meeting entirely. Uisi stopped investigating, and I reached the limits of my sources of information. People now think that Satoshi-kun's disappearance was a supernatural phenomenon called demoning away. In Hinamizawa, they refer to his disappearance as him having transferred, and nobody will talk about it otherwise. I don't like that phrase. I don't like the way that phrase is used to erase him. Oh, is that why Shion flipped out on Keiichi a bit in Chapter 3 when he's like, yeah, Satoshi-kun transferred, right? And she's like, what did you say? And like had the really creepy sprite. That's probably it. There are extra visual novel content set in the early periods of the Onigafuchi Hinamizawa. Is that not part of the, like, 8 chapters that are on Steam, though? During the upheaval surrounding Oyashiro-sama's curse in 1982, I was pulled this way and that by new leads on Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Every time I found information that looked promising, I kept changing my theories. It's not part of the 8 main... Okay. But that also became an incredible burden on me. It wore me down plenty on its own. The fatigue was harsh, but it also provided a very kind acceptance. Bit by bit, it soothed away the anger, sadness, and doubt that wore me down. I'll never forget Satoshi-kun. I'll never try to forget him and move on. I constantly repeated those to myself in my head. I repeated them, to keep my memories of Satoshi-kun from fading too, over and over. For the sake of my fond memories of Satoshi-kun, together with my fear and my sadness, I repeated them forever and ever. I don't want to be that guy, but what fun memories of Satoshi-kun do you have, except like the 2 times he rubbed your head? Your memories of him were like, him showing up when you were attacked by street gang members when you already didn't need his help. Like, watching him play baseball one time, and then him screaming at you after you beat up his 10-year-old sister. Like, that's it. Again, I don't want to be that guy, but you might be overblowing this a bit. Unless those notebook pages were not made by Shion, but that would be very weird if they weren't.